on this computer. There we go. So what I would like to do is share my screen again, and we're going to go to our Canvas course. And I was just going to show you that I added the specials link here as well. So it's here. It's the same link for both specials. If you click on the calendar, I had it in today's message, but I probably won't put it in every single day because it's just kind of a pain to have to put it in over and over and over again, but it is there today. So I'm glad you guys made it there. We started the morning starting our reading lesson, but you're going to have to remember to go back and finish the reading lesson later on today because we didn't get through it, and you need to do that. The second quiz, the one about the reading. So you're going to have to go read the story and work your way through the rest of the lesson. And now we're to math, and it says read lesson 1.01, then do the assignment 1.01 whole number experiments. So this first unit in math is working on place value, which I looked at your pre-tests, which most of you guys did yesterday, which is great. Congratulations. If you haven't done the pre-test, I'll show you where to find that. You're going to go to subjects. You're going to go to math. And you're going to go into the modules, like always. You're going to make sure your modules aren't collapsed. And because then you can't see anything. And you're going to go down to, this was yesterday's pre-test. So if you haven't finished that one, please go ahead and finish it. I noticed that 4 people might have thought that they finished it, but you actually left it running. So that pretest actually shows me how long you spent on the site. And I realized some of you like turned it on, left it on, and came back to it later because it says like you spent 4 hours on it. I hope you didn't spend 4 hours on it. But some of you have now spent 24 hours on that pretest. So these 4 people need to go back in and finish their pretest and submit it. Sophia, Brianna, Lauren, and Kainoa. You guys left yours running, and it tells me you've been working on that pretest for 24 hours. Which is a little crazy, right? Hi, David, welcome. So we're looking at our lesson for today. And again, we finished this pretest yesterday. So we're working on whole number experiments is our first lesson of the year. This little link means it's the lesson. This one means it's the quiz. So we're going to go into the lesson, whole number experiments. You can follow along with me if you want to get into your math module right now. You can go ahead and get into it. And I'm not going to always walk you through every page, but for the start of the year, I just want to model how I want you to do these lessons. So here's the lesson, whole number experiments. Has a little story with it, has all these tools at the top. Wanda dreams every night about being a scientist. She wants to make a new discovery someday. Maybe she could perform an experiment that turns everything into gold. Maybe she could make all food taste like ice cream. There are hundreds, thousands, maybe even millions of different experiment ideas. It's time to start experimenting. What will I learn in this lesson? So remember, the first page always tells you what you're going to learn. How to write whole numbers in standard form, how to write whole numbers using expanded form, how to write whole numbers using number names, and round whole numbers to any place. Now, some of you are going to be like, I learned all of this last year. I need to move ahead at my own pace. Here's the deal. If you got close to 20 right on your pretest, like 19, 20, 22, I want you to go ahead and work ahead. That's just fine. But if you didn't do that well on your pretest, what that tells me is that you do need to learn this, and we should just review it together and go through it slowly. So there are a few of you who did that well on your pretest, and if you want to work ahead right now, you can go ahead and mute your computer and just work ahead. This lesson will be there. If you get stuck, you can go back and watch it. Shu, you had a question?
So yesterday I did it and I got 19. Then I tried it again because I thought I didn't do well and I accidentally got even worse.
Oh, 19 is good though, right? 19 is good.
So should I count my first attempt or my second attempt?
Well, it'll always take your best attempt, so don't worry. Okay.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter because it's a pretest and you're not judged on your pretest. It's just to show us where you are. So if kids say, look, Ms. Laws, can I go really fast through this unit? I'll look at your pretest and say, yeah, sure, go ahead. Or I might say, no, I think you really need to spend some time on this. Okay, so here's our first activity. Stroll to find the hole. If you have your computer open, you can go ahead and play around with this. You're going to drag and drop these into the right place values. So what's this one over here? Go ahead and say it out loud. It's our ones, isn't it? So you're going to put that in. So you guys go ahead and do that activity right now. See if you can figure them all out. And then if you get it wrong, then you can reset it. What happens when you try to put it in the wrong spot? What does it do? Oh, it doesn't go. Oh, no, it does go there. So how do you know if you got it wrong? I guess you just look. Let's do it together. So ones go here. What goes here? Tens. And then?
Hundreds.
Hundreds. And then they have it in two sections to show where the hundreds are and where we skip into the thousands. So here's the 1000s, the 10,000s, and the 100,000s. Oh, it does have a submit button. So when you get it all together, you submit it. Amazing job. Your brain is growing a lot. You did great placing the headings in their correct spots. If you need practice on that, you can restart it and do it a few times. Okay. When you're done, this is just the text version. You can open it up and read it, but it's not too exciting. Wanda loves food and wants to combine her passion for science with her love of food. Remember, if you don't feel like reading this, you can go ahead and click on here.
Stroll to find the whole.
But it will read from the
10,000s.
start.
Ones, thousands.
Okay, boring. We're not going to do that. Wanda loves food and wants to combine her passion for science with her love of food. She dreams of carrot ice cream and blue gummy candy ice cream. To invent new foods, Wanda will need to understand place value. She'll need to get the ingredients right and will need to know as much as possible about numbers. Place value is the value of a digit depending on its place in a number. The value of a digit is different. This place value shows ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000s place. The ones, tens, and hundreds are in pink because these places make the ones period. A period is a group of three numbers. The tens, the thousands, 10,000s, and 100,000s are yellow because they make up the thousands period. A comma goes between the periods. An example, 100,000s, millions. Here's a number on the place value chart. A comma is used after every three place values when writing numbers. The comma in this number separates 329 from 673, although they didn't actually put the comma in. Oh, here it is. There's the comma. This is what the number looks like on the place value chart. The numbers 329 are in the thousands period, and so they represent 329 thousands. When we see the comma in a number with more than 3 digits, we say the name of the period. We do not say and when there's a comma in a number. Although I have to tell you that I would read that number 329,673, but they're telling me that's wrong, that it's 300,029,673, and you don't say and. I don't really care, but you can listen to her say it here if you want to. The standard form of a number is the number written using only numerals. So standard is like regular. Below is a number modeled in place value dis. We will write this number in standard form. So right now, if you have a pencil in your hand, see if you can write this number. Write it down. And you know, kids with your cameras off, my rule is that some parents have contacted me to say that their children prefer to have their cameras off. But if you haven't contacted me to talk to me about why you need to have your camera off, I would like to have your camera on, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you for turning on your cameras. Okay, did you get the number written? Let's have a look. There are 2 place value discs in the thousands place. They represent 2,000. So we write 2. We write a comma after the thousands. There are 9 place value discs in the hundreds place. So we write a 9. There are 2 discs in the tens. So we write a 2 and 5 discs in the ones. Kainoa, you had a question? So here's the standard.
You told me to tell you when it's been 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. 2,925. Let's go on to page 3. And have a little break, and then we'll come back to it, okay? So our little break today is going to be a breakout room. I'm going to stop my share for a minute. We're going to set up a breakout room. In your breakout room, you're going to talk about what happens when you're on a trip. You're all in the breakout room, or you're in the breakout room, and you're on a trip, and you have got terrible weather. And the ship that you're on a boat. It crashes into an island and you're stuck on this deserted island And you could only bring one thing off the boat when you got off the boat to get onto the island. What one thing would you bring and why? Zoom recording, good. Okay, so you should have read 97,342. This number is written in standard form. Remember, standard means regular. There are other ways to write numbers. We could write it in expanded form. Whenever it's lit up like this, you can click on it and it's going to give you the definition. Or written as number names. Expanded form is when we write a number as the sum of the values of each digit. Let's write the number 97,342 in expanded form. To write the expanded form of a number, we start with the largest place value. The number 9 is in the 10,000s place, which is 9 10,000s. So we write it like this. 9 10,000s is the same as 9 times 10,000, which is 90,000. So we know that 9 10,000s has a value of 90,000. We write this number below. 9 times 10,000 or 90,000. So you keep going with each value. Now we write the value of the other digits. The number 7 is in the thousands place, which is like 7 times 1,000 or 7,000. The number 3, the digit 3, is in the hundreds place. 3 times 100, 300. The number 4 is in the tens place. 4 times 10 or 40. And the 2 is in the ones place. 2 times 1 or 2. Then you need to put in the correct symbols, which is adding it all together. So 9 times 10,000 plus 7 times 1,000 plus 3 times 100 plus 4 times 10 plus 2 times 1. The expanded form is a lot of, it's tedious to write. It takes a long time to write it all out. You need to make sure to get each digit represented though. The other type of standard form adds the total values of each place value together. So sometimes they'll call this expanded form. Sometimes they'll call this expanded form. We can also write the number name of the number 97,342. The number name uses words. 97,342. We read the number this way.
97,342.
Woo. Let's try our hand at another number, but this time we'll change an expanded number into its standard form. We used the place value chart to help us before, so let's use it again. Write the standard form of this expanded number. So everybody get a scrap piece of paper and let's see if you can write what that number is. Be careful because sometimes they skip a digit. This time they didn't, but with a 0, you have to hold your place value. Okay, did you get your number written? Get ready to hold it up to the screen. Are you ready? Need a little more time? Oh. All right, when you're ready, hold it up to the screen. Ah, mine is turning into the moon. All right, let's read it all together. 743,981.
That's what I got.
There are 6 numbers in the expanded form, which means that the standard form will have 6 digits. We begin by writing the number with the largest place value, which is 700,000. Then you go to your hundreds. So 700,000 plus 40,000 plus 33,000 plus 900 plus 80 plus 1. And you get to the standard form. We now have the standard form and we read the number the following way, the way we just read it. Understanding place value is important, whether a number is in the hundreds or the millions. Wanda knows that as a scientist, she needs to have a superb understanding of place value. Tip: what happens when there's a 0 in the ones place, or any number actually? David, what's your question? No question? Okay. When a number has a 0 in the place value, like the one here, we write the expanded form a little. Go ahead. What?
I have a question.
Is it about math?
It's really about science.
Okay, so hold on to it. You can type it into the chat if you'd like to, but right now we're talking about math, okay? Here we go. So here we have our 97,340, and you don't say anything about the ones. Instead of saying 40 something, you just say 40. Notice that in the expanded form, we did not write anything for the ones because there are none. When we say and write out the number using the number name, we say 97,340. We say 40 because there are 4 tens, which is the same as 4 times 10. All right, moving on to the 4th page of our lesson, the norm form. We will write the number 28,019 in standard and expanded form. The number is 28,019. We'll use the place value chart to help us write the standard form. Let's start by writing the numbers in the thousands place. So 20 goes in the 10,000s place. We put the 2 there, and the 8,000 go there. 28,019. In your own laboratory, show off your no skills by completing this next activity. Remember that the number name is the number written out as words, and the comma goes between the thousands and the ones. So back here, the comma would go right here, and you would have 3 zeros in those places. I don't know why they didn't finish that number. Then it has this worksheet that you can open up. Now, this worksheet looks like one you would turn in, but in this case, it's not an assignment. It's a worksheet for you to work on to do. I would like you to work on this when I get off the computer today. On my computer, what I do to save this and submit it is I click this little print button up here. I save it as a PDF on my computer. And sometimes I like to put the number in front of it because it can get really confusing. So this is lesson, so I put an L, 1.01. When it's a lesson, it will not ask me to turn it in, only if it's an assignment. So up here at the top where it says lesson, it's not going to ask me, but I can save it there. And when I save it there, the neat thing is right here, I can't really annotate it. I can't write on it. But when I save it and open it in my computer, then I can. So now that it's in my computer and I open it up in my computer, I've got these tools on the top of the page, and I can click on them and I can use it to put in a text box where I can go 7,000. So I'm going to put a 7 there. I grab another text box. I can slide that right here, and we'll work on this. Don't worry if you haven't got down how to use the text boxes and everything, because the other thing is next week they're going to have the books for you and you can work on that. 2 10s and 6 1s. So I want to put 6 here. Okay. And there are different ways you can do this. I can do it using just a pen and writing, but my writing is pretty sloppy. So it says to write the standard number. So right down here, I'm going to need to write the whole number, and I'm going to have to put a comma in. So 7,000, comma, 526. You're going to fill out this whole form just for you and practice doing it. You will not submit this to me today. So let me go back to the lesson. When you open these, they tend to open in that format. So, and then it says try it answers, and it's got all the answers here so you can check your work. So that's a great place to practice so that you'll be ready for the test at the end. And that one was on, which page of the lesson was that on? That was on page 4 of the lesson. So you're going to want to go back at the end and do page 4 of the lesson. You might even write yourself a note to go back to page 4. We estimate numbers by rounding them. Rounding is a way to simplify a number. It's important to know where the halfway mark is because it determines where we round the numbers to. To round, we look at the number to the right of the place value we're rounding to. I'm going to say that again because it's so important. To do rounding is not hard. It's kind of like a way to kind of guess, like when I'm at the counter buying groceries, you know how things cost like $5.98. Well, it's hard to keep track of that 98. So I always say to myself, well, $5.98 is almost $6. So I just say, oh, that's $6. And I'm rounding. We round all the time in real life. So when you do rounding, the first thing you have to know is what place value are you rounding to? Let's round 516 to the nearest 10. So which digit in here is 10? Well, it's this one right here, this 1. And then all I have to look at is the number to the right of it to say, am I closer to 510 or am I closer to 520? Well, if this number is 5 or above, I'm closer to 520. I'm closer to the next 10 up. So I'm going to round it to the nearest 10. Here's a nice explanation of that. Since the number to the right of this 1 is a 6, we're going to round up. 516 to 520. Some people like to look at it like this. I actually like to, let me see if I can share my whiteboard while I'm sharing my screen. I don't think so. So I'm going to stop the share for a minute. And I want to show you a whiteboard. Uh-oh, my old whiteboard is not there. Here we go. We'll just, oh no, it is here. Okay, good. So hopefully you are able to see my whiteboard. I like to think of, can you see the whiteboard right now? Thumbs up if you can see it.
Yeah, it's
I
like
like
a
to think, I like to think of rounding as a roller coaster. And as you go up the roller coaster, if you were to stop anywhere here, the roller coaster would roll back down the hill, right? So in rounding, as you're going up the roller coaster, when you get to 5, you're past the top a little bit, and you're going to round down to the next highest number. So if I'm rounding my tens, I'm going to round to 10 or 20 or 30 or 40. There's going to be zeros to the right of the number. If I'm rounding to hundreds, then I'm going to round to 100 or 200 or 300 or 400, right? If I'm rounding to thousands, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, everything to the right of the number is going to end up zeros. Does that make sense? So again, back to that lesson. And I know it's a long lesson. You need to pay attention to what you're rounding and the number to the right. Everything to the left of the number over here stays the same. Everything to the right of the number you're rounding is going to turn into 0. And you just have to say whether you're going to keep this number the same or go up 1. That's all you're doing. One way to remember if the number stays the same or rounds up is by saying 5 to the sky and 4 to the floor. When the number is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, it stays the same. If the number is 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, we round up. Here's a video on how to round up. I'm going to want you to go back and watch this video later. Can I trust you to do that, guys? Okay, excellent. You're going to go back and you're going to watch the video. It's just a short video. Round the number 638,210 to the nearest 10,000. Okay, so our first thing is we have to find the 10,000s. Well, let's see, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, this 3. So you guys, right now, you know that number is either going to be, remember, everything to the left stays the same. So you're going to have 600,000 and 30, 0, 0, 0, everything to the right being the same, or you're going to have 600,000 and 40. It either stays the same or goes up. Those are your only 2 choices. How do you find out which one? You look to the number just to the right. So to this 8. If it's an 8, are we going to go up or down? Point with your finger. Are we going up or down if it's an 8? Yeah, we're over the roller coaster. So we're going to have to choose the bigger number. Okay. So you underline the place value that you're changing. It's either going to stay the same or it's going to go up 1. Everything to the right is going to be a 0. Everything to the left is going to stay the same. Rounding means that we are making a number simpler, but keeping its value close to the original number. Show off your rounding skills by rounding each of the numbers. And we have another video here that's going to show you a few lessons. So you're going to go back to page 4 and back to page 5 to finish this lesson when we're done today. It's not changing. What did I learn? And then we're pretty much done with the lesson. Here's the lesson summary. Wanda is a scientist with a great imagination. She wants to invent so many things one day. For now, it's important for her to learn about numbers, like how they can be written in standard form and expanded form. She also knows how to write the number names. You know how to do these things too, and how to round whole numbers to certain place values. Remember, underline the place value you're rounding to, and then move to the right of that number to see whether that number right next to it is 4 or less or 5 or more. Then you'll know what to do. Then here's a self-check review with some questions. You can see there's 5 slides and you're going to try and choose the right answers to practice. When you're done with that one, that's the end of page 6. What is your assignment? It's time to show what you know. So now they're going to have you do a quiz at the end to show that you can do it. When you're done going back after I end this lesson, I'm going to have you actually go into breakout rooms and work on this in case you have questions. I want you to go back and do pages 4, 5, and 6. And then when you are done with them, take this quiz and submit it today. Okay? That is all that I have for you today. I'm going to stop my share. But I'm going to make breakout rooms, just individual ones for you to go work in. And that way, if you get stuck, you can come back to me and ask me questions. Any questions right now? All right. And then recreate. How many of you are there? There's like 20. Oh, there's
19.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. So you may go to your breakout rooms. If you have a question in your breakout room, don't raise your hand or send me a question. Come back to the main room. Okay. David, I'd like you to stay in the main room for a minute. Okay. You guys are going to go in there and you're going to do pages 4, 5, and 6. You're going to do those worksheets and finish your math thing and then take your quiz. All right. If you have any questions, stay with me right now. Great job. And then I will see you guys again at 12, what is it? 12:10? No, 12:20. Sorry, 12:20. So we'll come back in here at 12:20. Okay.
I have a little social anxiety. That's why they got me this society pet.
Okay. All right. We are opening the rooms. You can go to your room or you can stay in here with me. David left.
What do you do if you're done?
Have you finished the assignment already and you've already done the quiz?
No, I'm saying like, what do you do when you're done?
Oh, when you're done, you can go if you don't have any questions. Yeah. Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you know that like